Okay, I'm gonna make a little tutorial about my eyebrows. I've had a few people that have asked me if I microblade or if I do anything, and I've tried to explain it, but it's really difficult to explain it without doing it. And also, it's really difficult to do it on somebody and then have that person know what's going on. So I figured I would talk you guys through this eyebrow right here. I've already done this one and kind of show you how I fill it in. So I just use this L'Oreal, um, it's called Brow Stylist Frame and Set. This is light brunette, 213, and it actually just comes with its own little brush. Um, it has like a little spool brush, and then on the end it has this little thing. So what I always say is I always like to pinch it. And once it gets like a good amount of kind of brow, um, I guess, cream or whatever it is, it holds it better. But you can kind of see how when I pinch it, it really tapers it off and makes it real fine point underneath. Um, so once I do that, now I don't run it across or move my brush around. I just like to take it and kind of pick up some of the makeup by just pressing down like this. So you only just really get that, the brows on that one side. Keeps on focusing on me. And then you don't have it on the opposite side of the brush. So this really helps control where you're putting it on your eyebrow. All right, so I will brush my eyebrows up. Okay, and yes, they're a little red. I wiped off my other brow stuff so I could redo the video and actually go through it. And I'll start like right here. Oops, I need a little bit more. Oops. And I also want to make sure there's no chunks. And if it starts to kind of needs another taper, I just kind of like will blot it on the side to kind of flatten that down or get off any chunks. So I will go ahead and start right there. And I brush up so I can kind of see the line that I'm following. You want to kind of have a mental straight line that goes from here to here. And I'm going to stop when I get to the arch. I don't want to put it too far under. I don't want to go too far into the brow. I just want to draw a nice straight line. And just kind of move it in just inside the brow. And then brush it up. I love these spool brushes because they really will help blend it in. So I'll go all the way up to where my arch is, right here, and then kind of see it. And if you're not too sure where the arch is, just kind of raise your eyebrows as you get there and you'll see it stop. And this is where I switch from going on this underside. I will go up and kind of over to the other side right here and bring that down. Just real soft so I can correct my, and it's important that you don't just do it all in one. You really want to kind of look back at your face to see if you've gone too far. And if you have, don't start smearing it because then you're just going to have a black smear down your face. I'll show you how we're going to fix any kind of like out of the line things. There you go. That's why just these small strokes are helpful. So I go up and right here, I'll switch from, and you can kind of see how instead of following this line, I've kind of followed up and I switched up and I've gone above to where my arch is. And then I just use that nice tapered end. You can see my brush, just kind of finish it down here. And then once I draw it above, I kind of just fill in what little bit I want because I don't want that back of my eyebrow to be too heavy. I don't want it to be like rectangles. I want that nice sharp line tapered off. So once I've done that, I can kind of see where my brow line is. I don't start back at here. I like to come like halfway so I'm not drawing such a long line across. like increments, and then I'll just trace this to that arch, to that top of the arch where I hit it when I lifted it up. And then I'll just, so there you have that nice kind of angled where you're using lots of little steps to connect your brow instead of trying to draw it all in one step, which really is difficult and leads to a chunky brow. So again, I'll just start here and I draw that back to that line. Okay, make sure your brush is nice. That brush is nice and sharp until we eventually get all the way to that front of the brow, and you can see kind of what we've done. Now it's okay if you have eyebrows like outside of it, because those are just the ones that you probably should pluck or gel up. And then once I do that, I just take it and kind of give these small kind of brush strokes. Right here, I like to just go up on that one. And then I will brush throughout because, like I said, this spool brush is great at blending. You want to have those like harsh lines in your face. So it really doesn't take that long, and like I said, just do it in lots of little steps so you can fix any mistakes or adjust your lines instead of like looking at your brow when you're completely done saying, oh God, that looks ridiculous. And remember, and also you don't want them to be perfectly even. I mean, you want them to look the same, but you don't want them to be like twins, right? I had somebody say once that your eyebrows are sisters, they're not twins. So you want them to look like they belong together, but you don't want them to look like you took a stamp on each side. Right, so now that you've drawn them and you have them to kind of where you like them, there are great products out there, but I am kind of lazy and cheap and also picky. So if it's expensive or if it's, I don't know, inexpensive, it doesn't really matter to me. I just want something that works for me. And I actually just grabbed this because I think I was using it for under eye concealer. It's just New York full coverage concealer. Don't even think there's a color on here. Oh, beige. And it actually works. So the same thing, except I use a different brush. Okay. You want to pull that line nice and sharp on the end, and then take your brush in there and kind of just, you don't want it to be too heavy, right? Because it's like salt. You can always put more makeup on, but you can't take it off without it being a pain. So we want to do the same thing. You want to come in here, right where that line is. Okay. And even if you have, so like I don't have any eyebrows in here. This little spot is bald. So I'm not going to fill that in. I want to go right underneath it to extend that line and to highlight the line that we put in there to look. And so this is great because like any little bumps that you know, or smears that you have outside of your brow, you can really sharpen that up and kind of fix your mistakes. And this really gives a nice kind of look, a clean look to your eyebrow. You can also go under with highlighter afterwards, just a little shimmer to kind of brighten that brow bone up right here if you want. And then just take your brow brush again and kind of brush that in. And then you do the same for the top. Okay, you kind of get it nice and sharp on there, and then you draw. Okay, this is kind of awkward to do like this, but. And I will like put my pinky down to kind of help balance it. And then if you cut off your line, your eyebrow a little bit, just go back in and fill it in with the other one. I mean, it's easier to build than it is to just kind of make your makeup work for you, right? It's kind of a cliche thing to say, but, and then just blend it in and brush it. And there you have that nice little arch. Now, what I'll do is sometimes at the end of the day, I'll go in and I'll be like, oh, I should probably pluck those because I can really see where that line is out, where my eyebrows have grown outside of this line I draw. I never really like to pluck my eyebrows unless they're done, because I hate the thought of over plucking them, because that's a mess. And I've definitely done that. Like right here, I sometimes over pluck. So you can always, you know, kind of conceal it more so than build it in. So there you go. You have your nice eyebrows ready for whatever, since people only see eyes now. But if you have any questions, let me know. Or if, I don't know, you want to see it done differently, I'm not too sure. But there you go. It should be easier now that you can see it. Just keep on playing with it. A great time to do it is like when you actually have time. So weekends, if you want to play with something different, because you never want to like try drawing your eyebrows in 10 minutes before I have to leave to work. Because then if it's a mess, then it's going to become intimidating and it's become work, and you just have to practice and do it. So enjoy.